Hello and welcome to Voice of Rio Grande. I'm Dr. Donna Mitchell, Dean of the College of Professional and Technical Studies, with my co-host, Dr. Heather Duda, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. It feels like forever since we've been here. You know, we've had holidays and holiday breaks and all sorts of whatnot between when I feel like we last sat at this desk.
I know, it has been a while, and I'm very happy that we're surviving the flu.
As am I. It is definitely one of those things that's going around. And I used to hate that. You know, when I was little, I'd get sick and my parents would say, "It's going around." And for some reason, that really bothered me as a little kid. I guess I wanted to feel unique or something. But it is definitely going around.
It is. My daughter's a nurse practitioner. She saw 25 cases in one day.
Wow.
So
wow.
I haven't seen too much here at Rio, so I'm hoping our students are staying healthy. And it's a busy time on campus. It's an exciting time. We've got basketball in full swing.
Yeah.
Graduation's going to be around the corner.
I can't believe, and you know, the semester got off to a little bit of a wintry start, we'll say, with a couple of closings within the first couple weeks of classes this semester, but this last week and this week seems to be full steam ahead.
First 2 weeks, full 2 weeks of school we've had since, what, November?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, we're really fortunate to have two guests with us today who are two new faculty members, and I'm really excited to talk to these folks. The first one is Hilliary Blakeman, and she's our new instructor of coding. And welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's good to have you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Hilliary, where you come from, and just some basic information.
Sure. I am local to this area. I graduated from Oco High School. Then I went on to college at The Ohio State University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in Health Information Management and Systems. I stayed in Columbus for a couple years and worked at Ohio Health as their inpatient coding educator. So I was responsible for education and training for all of their inpatient coders while I was there. I also received during that time my certification as an RHIA, which is a Registered Health Information Administrator, through the American Health Information Management Association. And then after about 3 years, my husband and I, who's also from this area, decided that Columbus wasn't for us, and we moved back down to the family farm, actually. And I took a position down at Southern Ohio Medical Center as in their outpatient billing and coding office. And I was in that position for about 6 months or so, and a position came open for a physician office manager down at SOMC. So I've been doing that for the past 8 years or so down there. And during that time, I also got my master's degree from Ohio University in healthcare administration. So been doing that. Have 3 young kids at home that keep me busy on that front.
Girls, boys?
I have 2 boys, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and then a 5-month-old daughter.
Wow.
So
It does sound like a busy house.
Yes, it is. It's very active. That's for
Sounds
sure.
like
Very
fun.
loud.
So you come to work to kind of get some quiet time.
Absolutely. Yes. Stay at work a little later for the quiet, get stuff done.
So what made you decide to make the transition into becoming an educator, especially here at Rio?
Sure. I have always, whenever I was at Ohio State, you know, in health information management, they always kind of talk to you about the different tracks and the different areas you could go into, and I knew that office management was one of the tracks that I was interested in, and so I was able to do that. And then higher education was also the other track that I was interested in. So when this position came about and I saw it was a possibility to come to Rio Grande, somewhere close to home, and work, I was excited to get to fulfill the higher education portion of my passion. So.
Do you have any experience with education before you came here to Rio?
Whenever I was with Ohio Health, I did some training with the students at Columbus State. I did some of their coding portion of the RHIT program they had. So I was able to do that at Ohio Health. And then just in my job at SOMC as a physician office manager, I worked with our physicians and providers and staff a lot with coding and billing and all of that. So not technically training, but still kind of helped prepare me, that's for sure, for this role.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as your classes have gotten started this semester, what are some of the rewarding experiences you've had, but also any challenges that you would like to share?
It's been a challenge, I think, coming into this for this program, just kind of to get a feel for everything. It's been, with the coding program, they've done it a couple different ways, so I think we're on the way to, on the track to kind of figure out which is the best way to go, whether it be an online kind of type course or a face-to-face course. So I think that's been one of the challenges of coming in, is just figuring out, you know, which direction we want to take. But I think we're well on our way, and I'm excited for the future of coding. Rewards have just been meeting the students. It's been very interesting, and just finding out what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, what their end goal is with this program, to come in and, you know, they're looking to better themselves and get this education to hopefully get a job and do, you know, meet their goals in life. So that's been interesting, just to meet all of those students and find out about what they want.
If I were a student interested in the coding program, what would I need to know? How long does it take to finish the program? How do I apply? What kinds of jobs could I get?
So there's a couple different tracks that you can go down. There's a one-year track that starts in fall semester, and then you finish up in the spring semester, that it will prepare you to sit for the Certified Professional Coder exam through the AAPC. So that's really the best track for those people who want to come in and, you know, quickly get their certification, sit for the exam, and begin their career as a medical coder. There's also a track that you can go on to take another year of classes that will get you your medical office assistant associate's degree. So that's for you know, individuals who might want to work in a physician office or as a receptionist at a hospital, and they'll also get that coding education, which is invaluable. You can, you know, use that and really go on into different parts of any parts of the hospital, really, for, you know, the billing end of things. And so that's really the two tracks that we have that you can take for the coding.
And can I apply to that program if I'm interested? Do I need to do anything special? Do I need to have any prerequisite courses?
There are really the prerequisites we can get you with the course. There's medical terminology, of course, is very important, and then knowledge of anatomy and physiology are, you know, very important as well for coding. You have to have a solid background in those. But we offer those courses as well with the track, so you can just come and the application, you can go to the rio.edu, and there's information on the medical coding and billing program there. And Amanda Amon at the Jackson Center is also a great resource. She's been vital in getting people signed up for the program.
So you could technically then just come in, and in 2 semesters you can graduate, or you can get your certificate and be a coder.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
get a good job.
Yes, coding jobs are very good jobs. Some of them, it's enticing to some people. There's a possibility that you can work remotely, so you can work in the comfort of your own home, making a good salary, and they're projected to be a job that's the growth potential is growing throughout the next couple of years. So a good solid industry to go into.
Do I have to start in the fall if I'm a student? What if I decide I really want to start as soon as possible? Is it a fall-only entrance, or can you start any semester?
We can work it out and get you started in the spring. We can start with, there's usually always medical terminology courses that you can start in, and we'll work it out one-on-one with you to get your track going, to get you in and get you going as soon as possible.
Great.
Are the courses offered on main campus or one of the academic centers?
Right now, most of the courses that we have are located at the Jackson Center. And we're looking into, in the future, if we're going to move some of those to either the Meg Center or the main campus here or not. But as of right now, the coding and medical billing classes are at the Jackson Center.
And is that where you're located as well?
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful facility there. It's nice and not brand new, but it's nice and new, and the classrooms are large. There's lots of space. It's a very nice facility.
I've been up there, and yes, it's a wonderful facility. It's got a computer lab, couple computer labs?
A couple, yeah, large
so
computer
students
labs.
could go and do a lot of their work right there and use the computers,
Yep.
as well as the classrooms, and you're not too far off of a couple of major highways, so easy access.
Yes, yes.
I like the atmosphere there. It almost seems like a family atmosphere.
It very much is. Everybody has been wonderful. Everybody's been very welcoming, and I see that not just with myself, but they're like that with the students. They, you know, the students come in. They truly care about the students, and they're very welcoming, and they help them, you know, with any of their needs, and it's really a great environment to learn.
Sometimes as a student, it can be daunting if you've not been to college before. So would you say that might be a good way to start in, and then maybe if you want to transfer to main campus, that gives you a little bit of a heads up?
I think so, absolutely. You get kind of that, you know, more personalized, smaller atmosphere before coming to, you know, the main campus here, which is a little larger, and, you know, everything's spread out a little bit more. So in that facility, we're all in one building, and the ladies there's just a couple of them, and they can help you with kind of any aspect that you need.
Great. It sounds like a wonderful program and a lot of high energy, and you know, I hope that you have a really wonderful first semester.
Thank you.
What word of advice would you have to a student who might be considering coding?
I would say just kind of go for it, jump in, and it can be a little intimidating. You know, when you look at these books that you have for the class that are, you know, each of them this thick, and it just looks intimidating. But once you get into it, I hope everybody will find that it's not as intimidating as it looks, and it can lead to a good career and a good lifestyle.
And jobs in this area if you don't want to leave.
Yes, yep. There's usually always, if not into getting into coding right away, into a physician office to work as a receptionist or registrar, insurance, billing, things like that. There's always something like that open around here, and then coding jobs will follow once you get that experience. So.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us today,
Yes,
Hilliary.
thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we've got to take a quick break, and so stick around. We've got another guest for you. Welcome back to Voice of Rio. Donna, would you like to introduce our next guest?
I certainly would. We have Casey Booth with us, and Casey is a new instructor for the nursing program. He's an assistant professor. Is that correct, Casey?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And so, Casey, we'd like for you to give us a little bit of background on yourself, if you would, please.
Sure. I grew up in Meigs County. I graduated from Meigs High School quite a while ago. Went into college, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Ended up going into nursing at Hawking. Took the LPN program, graduated in 2000 from that. Worked for 5 years in a variety of settings, did long-term care, did corrections, which is very interesting.
I imagine.
And so I decided to go back for my RN, so I went back to Hawking to finish that, and finished that in 2006. From there, shortly after that, I applied at Holzer. And worked at Holzer from 2007 until last year, before I came here. Did a variety of things there too. I worked primarily in critical care for the first 7 years. I worked as a staff nurse, and then I worked as an open heart recovery nurse, which is a very unique kind of nursing, very intense. From there, I went back for my bachelor's degree. I went to Ohio University online. I knew I wanted to do something bigger in nursing, something more, make more of an impact. Bedside nursing was very rewarding, but I felt like I could do more, so I wanted to do more. So I decided to take the leadership route. Enrolled at Chamberlain College of Nursing for my master's degree. They have an executive track there. So I graduated with my master's in nursing in 2015 and went on to be a house supervisor. From there, I did that for about a year, and then I took a position as a unit manager at Holzer. That was in October of 2015 that I took that position. And I was in that for about 2 years, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. So that is kind of what attracted me to Rio Grande and to education, is that I was looking for that thing that I loved, make a bigger impact, and still do something that I love.
Great, and thank you for making that transition. I'm excited to be able to work with you as you transition into the full-time education route. You mentioned you were, and I apologize if I say this wrong, a house supervisor? What does that entail? As somebody who's not in the medical profession, that is a new term for me.
In the job description for that, it says that you are an administrative and clinical liaison, and that's pretty much what it is. So during off hours, you make the decisions for the entire hospital. Okay. Where patients go, where staff go, any type of concerns about anything, you handle it or forward it, whatever the case may be. But that's what a house supervisor is.
And you said that you worked open heart. That's intense.
Very intense. Yeah. Well, I had a patient that came back with their chest still open, with cellophane over their chest, and you could see their beating heart. Very intense.
Wow.
Yeah. And prison nursing is also another area that's pretty intense.
It is.
What facility did you work for?
Lakeland Correctional Facility for Women.
You have such great experience, really, to bring into the classroom that it's exciting.
I was actually just going to say, how do you anticipate your unique experiences bringing that to students? Because it sounds like a perspective that students might not always get. So are you looking forward to sharing that with students? Do you think they'll benefit from it? I'm sure they will benefit, but the ways they'll benefit from it?
I think so, and I think that was one of the advantages that I had coming into this position, was that I do have that variety, and I can bring some of the experiences that I've had, share with them, so that they can have a little bit of light on it.
And I think that's so important, because the student can read something in a book, and if you've never experienced it, you can stand and tell a student about it. But if you've really lived it and you can give them those experiences that you've had, somehow that oftentimes ties things together for a student. And so I think your experience is going to be really valuable to do that for our students.
Absolutely.
One of the things I've learned so far in the short time that I've been here is how much that I've got to learn about being an educator. I know that I do have a lot to learn, and I'm okay with that. I'm ready to learn and willing to learn, so I'm excited about it.
Have you had any great, I don't want to necessarily say achievements, but any highlights so far in the first couple of weeks that you had an aha moment and thought, oh, that just clicked, that worked exactly as I wanted it to work?
Yesterday, I'm one of the instructors for the BSN program, and the one class is a very long class, and I had that yesterday for the first time where I was the instructor for that. And it was way more interactive than what I anticipated it to be, and that was relieving. That was a very relieving thing for me, seeing them get engaged with the conversation and engaged in the information that I had to give them. So
there's nothing better than a classroom full of students who are just ready to be part of the discussion, to be part of the conversation. I'm really excited for you to have had that moment so soon.
So with your BSN students, are these students who have gone straight through an associate degree into the bachelor's program, or have they worked a while, or do you have a combination?
There's a mix. There's a mix. Some of them bring a lot of experience on their own to the classroom. That for an example, one of the students is in home health. So, and that's something I have no experience in. So she's able to talk about some of her experience with that and, give it to the rest of the group. Which makes that group, I think, a little bit unique the amount that they can bring to the classroom instead of just taking.
It enriches your conversation and your discussion, definitely, because you have some students probably who have just gone straight through, so they don't have as much clinical experience, but maybe more experience with writing papers and expectations of faculty. And then you bring the students with all of the clinical experience, and they can really build off of one another's strengths. And I had the benefit of teaching that group last semester, and I really enjoyed getting them to interact and hearing them interact and hearing their stories, and it just makes the conversation so much richer. And I think one thing about the nursing program that might be a little different is it's not all tests at that baccalaureate level, right? It's more papers.
It's, yeah, different kind of learning.
Have you had an opportunity to think about any sort of long-term goals that you have for yourself as an educator, or you're hoping to see here at Rio?
Not yet. I do enjoy it here so far, so I'm just looking forward to the future. However that unfolds, I may want to go back and get my doctorate. I just want to see.
It makes sense.
Well, I feel fortunate that we have 2 male nursing faculty, because male nursing faculty members are sometimes very hard to find. And I think they're excellent role models because we're seeing more and more of our students are males. And so you provide a role model for a male student to maybe bounce some ideas or questions off of that maybe we couldn't relate to quite the same way with females. I know males are a minority in nursing, but quickly growing.
Men are treated differently in nursing, but for the most part, it's advantageous. It is really advantageous. And if you can look at that objectively as a male nurse, you can see that.
The only downside is when you get to ask to help pull up patients.
You always
lift,
are
right?
the ones that lift, yes. Yes. That is a negative. That's okay. You get used to that too.
Well, in education, maybe we won't ask you to do that kind of lifting. It'll be more mental lifting
That's okay.
than physical lifting.
I don't know. I've seen some of those nursing textbooks.
They can be quite extensive.
And I think our last guest mentioned this thick.
So where's your office located? Are you on the main campus, or are you on one of the academic centers?
I'm in the main campus, McKenzie, 112.
Have you settled in?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Good.
And you have family that you want to share?
I do. I have a wife and 4 children. They are 3, 9, 17, and 19.
Wow.
My oldest one is a student here at Rio Grande.
Wow.
Majoring in?
She will be in nursing.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yep.
Following in Dad's footsteps.
Her own footsteps. I made sure it was her own decision.
Wow,
That's great.
That's
I
important.
just gave her the information, and that's what she. Besides that, she's working as a nursing assistant now at Holzer, and so she's around the environment. She knows what it is. So I'm glad that she was able to have that before she made that decision.
As a nursing faculty, do you still get the opportunity to work as a nurse or to go into the hospital ever, or are you only in the classroom?
I do get the opportunity with clinical experiences, so yeah, I do.
So you can also provide that experience to students and help them learn what you know in a clinical setting. That's great.
Well, it sounds like we have some excellent new faculty this year in our classrooms and at our various locations. And again, I just look forward to working with you and the coming semesters, and I think it's great.
What would be your advice to somebody coming into nursing? Maybe advice you might have even given your daughter.
Don't underestimate the nursing program. It's a lot, and once you get through it, though, it's worth it. The work is worth it. And from all the years that I've been a nurse and been around nurses and nursing, the ones that do really well, the really good nurses, are the ones that care. And if you can't do that, you can't really be a good nurse.
You've got to follow your heart,
yeah,
right?
You got to care.
That's very good advice.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Casey. We appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedule, I'm sure with a family and with new to the nursing profession as far as education, that that is a busy time for you, so we appreciate you taking time. And it's been good to spend time with you again, Heather.
Always. I look forward to this.
And we'll see you again next month
Yes.
on Voice of Rio Grande.
Have a good month.